Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this morning's update on Hurricane Francine. So, Francine continues to intensify in the Gulf of Mexico, and taking a look at the 7 a.m. update, Hurricane Francine has maximum sustained winds of 90 miles per hour, gusts up to 115 miles per hour, is moving to the northeast, and has a minimum central pressure of 976 millibars. Unfortunately, Francine is expected to intensify to a Category 2 hurricane as we go into 1 p.m. this afternoon with 100-mile-per-hour winds and 120-mile-per-hour gusts moving to the north-northeast. And I'm expecting a landfall sometime this evening around 5 to 7 o'clock in the central Louisiana coastline south of Baton Rouge. Taking a look after landfall as we go into 1 a.m. tonight, looking at a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm with 70-mile-per-hour winds moving to the north-northeast, just northeast of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And then Francine's going to move into central Mississippi tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Time, as a 35-mile-per-hour tropical depression with 45-mile-per-hour gusts moving to the north. As we go into Friday, 1 a.m. Central Time, a 30-mile-per-hour post-tropical cyclone with 40-mile-per-hour winds situated just south of Memphis, Tennessee. And then Francine is going to slow to a crawl just west of Memphis and dissipate as a 25-mile-per-hour post-tropical cyclone with 35-mile-per-hour gusts as we go into 1 p.m. Saturday afternoon. We have storm surge warnings in effect for the entire coastline of Louisiana and Mississippi in the blue. We have hurricane warnings for areas like Lafayette, Baton Rouge, most of south central Louisiana, tropical storm warnings for most of southeastern central Louisiana, southern Mississippi, even into southern Alabama now. And then we have tropical storm watches into south central Mississippi, hurricane warnings rather, for south central Louisiana as landfall nears. Taking a look at the key messages for Hurricane Francine, there's a danger of life-threatening storm surge today for Louisiana and Mississippi coastlines, where a storm surge warning is in effect. Residents in the warning area should follow advice, including evacuation orders given by local officials. Damaging and life-threatening hurricane-force winds are expected in portions of southern Louisiana later today, where a hurricane warning is in effect. Tropical storm conditions are expected to begin within this area later this morning, and preparations to protect life and property should be complete. Francine is expected to bring heavy rainfall and the risk of considerable flash and urban flooding across southeastern Louisiana, Mississippi, far southern Alabama, and northern Florida through Thursday night. Flash and urban flooding is probable across the lower Tennessee Valley and lower Mississippi Valley Wednesday night into Friday morning. So yeah, make sure you're making your last minute hurricane preparations if you live across Louisiana and Mississippi. Taking a look at the latest rainfall forecast from the Weather Prediction Center, we're looking at widespread 4 to 6 inches of rain across southeastern Louisiana through much of Mississippi and the Florida coastline and Alabama coastline in the yellow. Looking at widespread 2 to 4 inches of rain across much of Alabama, western Florida, Mississippi, eastern Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, southwest Kentucky, western Tennessee in the dark green. Looking at 1 to 2 inches of rainfall in the light green areas. And then where Francine comes ashore, we are looking at 6 to 8 inches of rainfall just south of Baton Rouge, with some isolated pockets of 6 to 8 inches near Baton Rouge and other areas of southeastern Louisiana. Make sure you're preparing for flooding, as flooding is going to be a problem from Hurricane Francine. Taking a look at the latest flood outlook, we have a moderate risk of flooding across southeast Louisiana and southern and central Mississippi in the red, a slight risk of flooding in the yellow, and a marginal risk of flooding in the dark green for Hurricane Francine, most of it coming today, but we do have a slight risk tomorrow across much of the Tennessee Valley. And taking a look at the latest storm surge forecast, looking at 1 to 3 feet of storm surge from Freeport through Cameron in southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana, looking at 3 to 5 feet of storm surge from Cameron through Intercoastal City. And then if you live between Intercoastal City and Port Forcon, make sure you're really preparing for storm surge, as you're expecting 5 to 10 feet of storm surge, especially in Vermilion Bay. Looking at 4 to 7 feet of storm surge from Port Forcon to the mouth of the Mississippi River, a 2 to 4 feet of storm surge from the mouth of the Mississippi River to the mouth of the Pearl River, including Lake Maurepas and Lake Pontchartrain, 4 to 6 feet of storm surge through Ocean Springs and the Mississippi and Alabama border. Is it going to see 3 to 5 feet of storm surge, 2 to 4 feet of storm surge from the Mississippi-Alabama border through the Alabama-Florida border, including Mobile Bay, and 1 to 2 feet of storm surge is expected from the Alabama-Florida border through Santa Rosa and Okaloosa County line. Make sure you're preparing for a life-threatening storm surge across southeastern Louisiana. And unfortunately, we're going to be seeing tornadoes as well from Francine, as we have a slight risk of severe weather across coastal Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida, driven by a 5% chance of a tornado touching down within 25 miles of a location this afternoon, including New Orleans and Mobile, 2% chance in the green for a tornado touchdown within 25 miles of a location. And then taking a look at tomorrow, have a slight risk across much of Alabama, western Florida, southwestern Georgia, and a marginal risk extending into south central Tennessee, also driven by a 5% tornado threat and a 2% tornado threat in the green shade area. So make sure you're making your last minute hurricane preparations if you live across southeastern Louisiana this morning and early afternoon, as landfall is going to be expected this evening. Thanks for watching this morning's update on Hurricane Francine. Please stay safe and have a wonderful day, my friends.